Ooh, I'm trying to like make this so that it is. Hi. Okay, I'm in my office. Sorry. I never know where to look when I'm on my phone. Okay. I apologize if it's a little bit blurry. Okay. Hey guys. So I was just sitting here and I was like getting ready for nothing because it's Saturday and I'm not really working. And my husband and I just got home from buying a Christmas tree, which we're going to decorate tomorrow. And I was watching, I was just like sort of perusing through the news, and I saw something in the headlines that I was like, whoa, this is so sad. And I was just wondering, like, I know some of you might be a little bit younger, but I'm 42. And so, back when reality TV, so one of the reasons why I cover reality TV is because I'm like been a huge reality television like fan for years. And back in the early infancy days of reality TV, it was a lot different. There was a lot more reality and less scripting and staging. It was a lot more real. There wasn't as much production. It was just raw, right? And so I used to watch a show called Bad Girls Club, and I know it was on for a long time. But I watched religiously probably for the first 5 or 6 seasons, and after a while it got sort of like exhausting to watch the same patterns happen and repeat, and sort of, the uh, late 50s, cute. So anyways, I was reading about the show, which was one of my like favorites in the beginning. And then there was season 3, which was a group of women that it was a hot mess. It was in 2008. And there was this group of girls that were solely mismatched. Very, I don't know if any of you guys watched any of these. I'll see if I can find you a photo. It was, let's see, season 3. All right. So I'll flip this around real quick. That's them. I don't know. It's hard to see there. Let me see. No, this group. Here we are. So that's them. There was Amber and Whitney back here, and Kayla and Aaliyah and Amber and Sarah, and I can't remember her name. Okay. So this group was a hot mess. The Ambers were 2 like girls that were super ditzy, and kind of everyone kind of hated them, and they sort of had their own little clique. And then the other girls were kind of rough and tumble, fighting types, like Whitney, Kayla, Aaliyah. They were like the kind of girls that would like get down, get dirty, that kind of stuff. And Amber were super annoying, and it was literally probably one of my favorite seasons of it, Bad Girls Club. I don't know why. So I was like perusing through the news or my Google feed, and I noticed that Whitney, this girl right in the back, this one right here, she passed away. And it's like super tragic. And they don't know, they haven't released what happened. So I was like, this is really sad. And apparently she's not the first one, and she was only 33 years old. And some of the girls from the show have been reacting. And one season there was this woman named Flo. She was like very, very hot-headed. She was the kind of girl, again, that was like gonna get down and dirty, gonna get fighty, like very physical. And a lot of these girls would get physical with each other. Whitney actually was kicked off of the season for basically attacking Amber in Cancun. So obviously, seeing the news today, I was like, whoa, she is so young. What is going on here? And then one of the girls from Bad Girls Club, Flo, she posted something on her Instagram, and I thought it was just like so sad. So I don't know what season she was on, to be honest. But she posted, oh my God, I can't get in. She posted this whole thing on her Instagram, basically saying that like there's been a lot of people on this cast that have gone through some really tough times. She talked about how like the way that they were treated by the production. I mean, again, this was way before, you know, reality television was really, this was in the infancy of reality TV. So this is what she actually shared on her Instagram. I'll just read it to you. She wrote, Whitney from Bad Girls 3 has passed away. Condolences. And that is how many bad girls now that have passed. Demetra, Lindsay, and countless girls have been through depression, addiction, and gotten into trouble. She said, have gotten into trouble, posting themselves broken and afraid. Why are so many Bad Girls Club members going through this? What is the pattern? Thankful I got through this and I'm here and I'm healed. So my theory is that many of the girls experience what you did. You get on TV, you blow up overnight, and then you get beat, and then you beat yourself up doing these clubs. You have people bullying you for being the bad girl they hate. Then you go through a time nobody cares about you. You're lonely. Nobody is your real friend. And then they do any show just to make $1, selling their souls deeper and deeper into the world of bloodsuckers and users. I'm not sure how she died, but a lot of people sent me videos and pics of bad girls telling me to help them. And I've been there for a few of them. This has got to end. Girls of Bad Girls Club, please, if you're going through something, and I understand, I've been there in the worst way, and we do it all in public. I love all of you. Even if you have some weird reason you don't like me, it's okay. I love you and I can help you if you need it. I'm here. Reach out to me. I will be there for you. I pray for every Bad Girl member to stay in the light. Stop competing with one another. Cut the drama out and move forward and drop the beef. Stop being the industry's little puppets and running your lives and others by doing anything to stay relevant. Who cares what people think? Be happy, do you, stay healthy, and bring all peace into your lives. Love the light. I truly am sad to see so many of you going through this. I got out of it and you can too. Please bless the Bad Girls Club. Everyone send a prayer to every single one, even the ones who hold on to their so-called image to keep the so-called fans interested. Prayer to each one, God bless. I'm serious. This isn't for attention. This isn't a joke. You all need to stop and grow the F up and support one another. And then she just sort of went on. And then she did this Instagram live she did like an Instagram live where she basically was like kind of frustrated and angry again with sort of her experience of, you know, she was talking about how when you're on the show, like everyone wants to be your friend, and then you get off the show and then like no one wants to talk to you, and then you get another show and then everyone wants to talk to you again, and then you get off the show and again you're sort of a has-been and nobody's interested in you, and then it's like this cycle, she said. And then she said she ended up in addiction. And she said a lot of the girls that have been on this show have had sort of the similar experience. And she was talking about how these videos and the show really painted women in a very negative way, and it sort of brought out the worst in people without providing them any sort of resources or tools to become better people. And that was one thing about the show when it was on air that was always my struggle with it. Like, you're bringing all these girls together that are all angry and they're all bitter and they're all mad, and then what? Then what? what happens next? It started off as this thing where they were supposed to bring bad girls together to actually like find ways to become better people. And then it sort of just got derailed season after season with fights, with just the drama and the drinking. And, you know, you sometimes forget when you're watching these shows, right? Especially the cast members, like, or the ones that are like all thrown together, like The Challenge or other shows like that, where it's a cast of many different people. They are in a specific period for a specific time. They are like Big Brother or whatever, you know, they're on a set with people from all different places, all having to live together, all going through something very polarizing together, then becoming, in a way, sort of famous for being on the show. And then they're off the show and then there's nothing, you know? And you start to wonder, sort of like, one of the reasons I've always covered reality television is this aspect of like, what happens after reality TV? What happens when the lights are gone? What happens when they don't have those resources anymore? What happens to their careers when they are notorious, when they're known for getting wasted and hooking up? And how do you brand yourself in a way that is congruent with being marketable, right? If you are known for, oh, I see someone sent a super chat. Sorry. I come here for the content about reality shows. That's how I came to know this channel. And I like the content because it's well researched. Thank you, Pollyanna. And then thank you, Nurse Wildfire, for becoming a member. So one of the things I was always wondering about these shows is like I was saying, like, what kind of resources happens and like, what is the cost? Like, has there ever been any sort of study or any sort of like research done about the trauma of people that do this, that put themselves out there, that their lives become entertainment for other people, their trauma becomes other people's entertainment, their bad behavior becomes other people's entertainment? That's always been my struggle with a lot of these shows, especially the ones that really are not filtered. And it seems like it's this machine. And that's really what sort of eventually turned me off about the Bad Girls Club, because it felt like this machine of every season having to up the ante and find the worst players and the worst people and the worst, you know, the most highly like toxic and volatile humans. And you start to wonder, like, these people back then made next to nothing on these reality shows. You have to remember, back then, reality shows were so raw, and like, it was done as like sort of documentaries, and then they were given this like caveat or this carrot of, you are going to suddenly become like, you know, it's the clout that we're going to give you, that's sort of your payoff. And then a lot of these kids, especially on these shows like The Challenge and other shows that have done similar, like the Bad Girls Club, there's been so many of these. And I think the Challenge kids have the same thing. They end up becoming bottle servers, and they go to clubs and they do appearances, and then they get into this like lifestyle of their only means of income is, you know, going out and partying. And then you see, even from like the old Real World Road Rules Challenge days, plenty of other cast members going through similar things. And there's no way to know yet what happened to Whitney, but she's so young. And I mean, I think about like America's Got Talent, or not America's Got Talent, America's Next Model, America's Top Model. There was that girl that was dealing with serious drug issues, and it became like this entertainment or sort of like fodder for people. And you start to wonder, like, when we marginalize and we exploit people for entertainment, what's the end result? Like, what happens when the industry chews them up and spits them out and they go back to life and nobody cares and they lose everything? And, you know, Flo in her video, I was going to show you guys the video, but she was cursing like a lot. If you watched Bad Girls Club, Flo was very hard and tough, and like her message was very clear, like how many of these girls, after the industry has chewed them up and spit them out, become addicted, they became homeless, they've lost everything, they've gotten into really bad situations because there was nothing for after reality television. And that's always kind of like this lens that I've always thought of when I look at reality TV. Like, what happens to people when they put their lives out like that? Like, what happens to people? That's why I've always wondered, like, what's going to be in we're seeing sort of now with the Gosling kids. They're growing up now. They're sort of like some of the first kids that were on reality television. Like, what's going to be are they going to have like child star sort of issues, where they get fame at a young age, where they have boundary issues, where they have everyone sort of looking at everything that they do and sort of analyzing it, and what are the long-term consequences? It's fascinating to me when you think about how an industry became so big, and it still is, and yet we know so little about the psychological impacts of what the true consequence and like negativity that happens from being on reality television, and what that sort of psychological damage can happen from it. Oh, I see somebody else did a super chat. Oh, Ronnie, thank you. Amy, thank you for thank you for your super sticker. And Ronnie, thank you for becoming a member again. So yeah, it's what is the aftermath? So, at the end of the day, you have all these people that are going online. You have all these people that are putting their lives out there, and you start to wonder, like, what does this mean for the kids? What is it going to mean I think about this a lot with Teen Mom, particularly. What is it going to mean for the kids that have been on Teen Mom their whole lives? The show is still on air. It's 10 years in. They've never not had a day in their lives where there hasn't been media interest or, some sort of, tabloid story about their families. And they were born into a situation that they had no choice to be born into. And then the child's life becomes consumed by the public. And then I think about the kids on YouTube in the same right. So you have children that are on YouTube and they become consumed by the public for entertainment. And what does that mean long term for that kid when all of their lives are documented and, their parents make that choice because of the income or the revenue or the clout or whatever it is that they get from being on the show. Some people do it for telling their stories. Others do it for the money. I mean, there's a lot of money in this. This has all had my mind racing. You should look up the Dion quintuplets. Their lives are absolutely ruined. This was before television, but it was exactly the same in terms of the exploitation. It's just sort of like, it's really, Emerald says, Bad Girls Club turned me off a long time ago because of the negativity. Yeah, it's the negativity aspect. And it's been one of the reasons why, I have to be honest, like, it's why I don't cover the housewives very much, because there's so many things that women were good at, that we are phenomenal at, that we have to offer this world. And then the entertainment industry classifies it to entertainment, to dumb it down, to make it about women fighting, getting drunk, and being catty. And it manifests this behavior to the public where you're just like, so this is what our value is. We're going to get a bunch of women drunk because we know if we get them drunk, we will get emotional and we might fight. because that happens. We're you know, women, we're emotional beings. We have thoughts and feelings, and we, you know, but what is it actually offering the wider public when we watch that kind of stuff? And what is it about these types of shows that people enjoy watching? Is it that you want to watch people fighting and arguing? And why is there such a lack of interest in watching the good of people? These are, I don't know, these are just what I've been thinking about since finding out about this woman's passing, which is ultimately tragic. People will always recognize these kids, even as adults who step away from it. And no matter how much they try to distance themselves, they will never be able to step out of the public eye for good. Yeah. This is kind of what I was thinking about. Do you really think the people who watch reality television care about what happens to the cast? They sign the contracts to protect themselves if they don't. That's dumb. Oh, thank you, Daria, for becoming a member. I worry about the children from Teen Mom, says Claudia. Society then makes bad behavior a good thing. Yeah. That was kind of the thing that Flo was talking about in her video on Instagram. So you get all these girls fighting and you watch them getting physical with each other, and then, you know, that kind of behavior gets glorified. And you're like, okay, so this is what we want to consume for the public. And I know not everyone thinks about the people after the shows, but I do. I've always thought about what this does. I've always wondered the long-term effects of this. I've always thought about, because you think about kids in acting and you think about what happens to child actors. So there's this like effect of becoming famous when you're a child. They say that it can actually be super traumatic, and it can actually stunt development based on how young you are when you become famous. And it can sort of like impede your maturity, your development, and it can cause a lot of issues. And then you have, you know, the whole idea of fame with children who are not prepared for it. There's just so many aspects of all of this that are so tragic. And it's tragic to me that now you're seeing sort of some of these consequences of, you've got 3 girls from this series that are now gone. And it's like, you just wonder like what we're accomplishing with this. I don't know if that makes sense. That's why TikTok is so horrendous, says Mara. Your favorite reality show is The Golden Girls. You guys, The Golden Girls was really one of my favorites. Yeah, Apple. Thank you for that comment. Look at Claudia says, look at the reality shows such as The Housewives and how they fight over stupid stuff. They have big homes, some too, food choices. I know, they do, they really do. Cheap Shot says, sometimes watching reality TV makes your own life not seem so bad, especially with what's going on now. Yeah, this is like, you know, this is kind of, it's kind of like when celebrities adopt kids too, says Hannah Marie Berry. I should do more 90 Day Fiancé stuff. Okay. So I was actually thinking about this, and I was like, okay, I have always liked doing multiple things on this channel. And I want to kind of go through and look back at some of these shows and try to figure out yeah, Jill, that's exactly what I'm saying. It reinforces negative stereotypes about women. Correct. For sure. Okay, so I want to go back and I want to like look through all of this stuff and figure out like what the long-term ramifications are for this. Shauna says it's important to remember reality television isn't real. It isn't real, except some of the stuff that happened back then was real. Like these girls really went through that. You know what I mean? Like the reality television that is today is way more scripted and way more produced than it was then. I would encourage you to go back, watch reality television from the early 2000s and take a look at how different it was then versus it is now. It is not, it's a lot different today than it was then. No, it's not real. And that's a really good point too, because if it's not real and the public is being deceived, and you sort of see like you get this idea of who someone is versus like who they are in real life, and the narrative that it paints and how that impacts people in real life. Abigail, that's a good point. She said it's not real, but the consequences are, for sure. There was one YouTube channel that talked about fame being a type of trauma for younger people. Yeah, it's actually, there's been documented studies on it, and they've looked at the development of child actors and how it's impacted them. So yeah, for sure. Ashley is a poor choice to replace. Wait, is Ashley going to be on Teen Mom? Ashley Jones? Is that who they're replacing her with on Teen Mom 2? Did they announce that? I must have missed that. They did announce, oh dear. And that's what I'm saying, is they pick characters. Like, Chelsea has to move on. Why? Because Chelsea adds no drama. She's just a normal mom now. She's literally just a mom that lives in South Dakota. She's your average everyday mom. She adds no intrigue to the show. So they have to bring in characters like Jade, now like Ashley, that are going to bring volatileness with them, which again is good for TV, but not necessarily good for all of us, if that makes sense. Yeah, normal isn't cash crop anymore. Teen Mom has just changed so much, really and truly it has. So that was my thought process tonight. If you guys are the praying type or, anything, send thoughts, prayers to Whitney's family. They have not said what happened yet. It's really, really sad that another person has lost. I mean, so many reality stars have lost their lives so young, and it just makes me sad. So I might start going through some of these old shows to see, like, drama does sell, correct? It does. But it's just so sad in a way. Because sometimes you think about it, and sometimes the most dramatic people or the most dramatic situations are with people that are hurt and people that are broken or people that are struggling. And in another way, I was actually just listening to a podcast about Mama June. You guys, Mama June is sober. And she did a podcast about her sobriety, and she was really open and honest about what was going on in her life. And it's shocking to know that she admitted on this podcast that producers knew about the amount of stuff she was putting up her nose. I think she was using stimulants, let's just say. I don't know which ones. I know one of them was crank, and I don't know the other one. I know the other one, powder. Yeah, she was putting powder. But the amount that she was using on a daily basis when she was literally, no. Like, not prescription drugs. She was using street drugs. And the amount she was using a day, the amount of grams she was using in a day, the amount of how much she was using, and then like more than 2 grams a day. And that's a lot. Like, there were days she said that she could do 4, 5, and it's like, oh my gosh. And she said that the producers knew, and they didn't do anything until it was like at a point when they had to. And she was talking about the season where they finally like intervened, and yeah, $1,500 a day. Wait a minute. No. Why is Madison? Don't hide Madison. I just saw Madison can someone unhide Madison, please? Jesse, if you're available, can you unhide Madison? Madison is a longtime subscriber. Thank you. Okay. It's just, it's a lot. And these people know what's going on, you know, and you're like, how does the production of these, like, that's always what I think about with the teen mom stuff. When you see the kids being mistreated and it's like, how do you guys sleep at night? I don't know how I would sleep at night producing a show like that, witnessing what you witness. And then, you know, like, how do you function after being in that kind of life? And then, you know, knowing that mama was doing this and had such a humongous amount, such a big habit that was so bad. I mean, she literally said that she was pawning jewelry. And I remember we covered this. She was pawning jewelry consistently to pay and then rebuying it back. She pawned her daughter's car, which we saw on the show. She sold her house for like next to nothing, she said, just so she could have money. And she literally like said it was gone so fast. They rented hotel rooms, which we covered. And she said that they like literally would just go from place to place to place and just get out of their mind. They would trash things. And she was like left with nothing. And she said that like there was nothing that anyone could have done to stop it. And then it just got to a point one day where they just were like, we can't do this anymore. We have to get clean. And so she's now been clean for 10 months, which is awesome. But the sad thing is that she even admitted that because of all of this, she still hasn't been able to repair her relationships with her daughters, and she doesn't know if she ever will. So she's in Florida now. Mind you, she still has that case in Alabama because she was arrested in March of 2019. It's just so, so sad. She is still with Gino. She says that both her and Gino are sober now. She says Gino still drinks alcohol a little bit. She said she doesn't use anything at all. And she was just really honest about it. Yeah, I don't like Gino either. But that's neither here nor there. Whitney, they haven't said what happened to Whitney. They just said that she passed away. They haven't released like a cause at this point. It sounds like it happened a couple days ago. She was only 33. I think her mom made the announcement. Whitney Collins from Bad Girls Club. Her mom said on Facebook, I'm completely broken and we'll never get over this. Life is so unfair. She was kind with a big heart. They said that there's a medical examiner that's doing a autopsy to determine the manner of death. She was on from 2008, 2009, season 3. She was kicked off and she was on the show when she was 21 years old. So anyways, this was what my thoughts were about. And I need to go because my husband's making tacos and I might be back on later tonight, but yeah, Whitney Collings from Bad Girls Club season 3. She passed away. You liked this topic a lot? Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Thanks. I just, I like having open discussions about this kind of stuff. So thank you guys so much for your support and just hanging out with me right now and letting me talk through this. It's really sad. So if you are thinking, if you're a praying kind, say some prayers for her family. If you are a good energy, putting good thoughts out into the world, think some good thoughts for Whitney's family. And we will just probably be back. Oh yeah, Ashley Jones apparently is joining Teen Mom too. So before you go, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you to those of you that became members, and thank you to those of you that did super chats.